Hey guys, Core Ross and What's Six News. Today we have the Year 9 Season 2 designer notes. So of course this is all changes to the operators and such. Now we don't have the other patch notes which usually has like a picture of the seasonal skin and stuff like that. We'll probably come back and check that out when it is released, but right now it's not out. So first off, balance and graphs. This is ranked PC and above for attackers. You can see Ash at the top here and everyone else quite well clumped up for PC. If we move over to console, we've got Sense not doing well. Ooh, Deimos not doing well as well. We've got Ash up top, followed by Ace and Buck here. That's actually quite interesting, especially, of course, seeing Deimos there. Then we've got our defenders, of course, Emerald and above. This is PC. Quite a good collection. Oh, there's Clash down there hiding away. So quite a good collection from the PC. And check console. Oh, all over the place. So we've got Wamai up top with his ACOG. And of course Melusi. Then we've got Doc. We've got the trap operators and Rook up here. But rest, not too crazy. We actually got Clash here. So my takeaway actually from these two graphs is just that the PC seems like a more balanced playing ground. Whereas console, it's a bit more scattershot. Then we've got our bans. So we've got Dockaby up top. She's getting hit next season, which is season 3, with our Greek operator. She's getting hit with some sort of change to make her less annoying. We'll see what that ends up being. Then we've got Jacko, we've got Thatcher, and of course this is PC, checking for console. We've got Jacko, then Dockaby, then Thatcher. For defenders on PC, wow. Jeez. Okay, that's why he's getting hit with a big change this season. My God. I don't think we've seen him that far up. We've got Mira down here and Solus. So Fenrir, jeez. And then defenders, pretty similar. Fenrir, then we've got Capcan, then we've got our Mira. For me, actually, the big takeaway here is how Mira got changed with that ability to smash her mirrors at range with Ash and Callie. And she really has dropped considerably down. Now, we got a message from the team. Of course, there'll be a link in the description below. You can go read all of this stuff. Of course, I'm not going to read out every single thing here. I don't even know why you guys tuned into this video, but hey. So we got operator balancing. First striker, of course, the new recruit. There's a lot. I assume all of this is because they knew this was going to be a bit kind of controversial, this new recruit rework. There's a lot in here that they're talking about. But of course, base stats, you've probably seen my video and many other videos going over how the new recruit remasters work. Of course, equipped with the M4, M249, and then we got a couple of secondary. It's kind of a very limited loadout, especially back in the day. Of course, you had so many recruits to choose from when the game came out. Then we got Sentry on defense. Yeah. And you can equip 2 secondary gadgets. You just can't equip 2 of the same, so you can't have like 2... frag grenade choices or something like that. Right? You got to have grenades and flashbangs or something like that. What I will say though is, reading through this earlier, this is probably the one that I'm quite curious about, because they say this new approach also means that whenever we introduce a new secondary gadget. Now I kind of figured that we've got quite a lot of secondary gadgets these days. I was kind of thinking we're probably at the end of getting new ones, but this paragraph makes me think there is a new secondary gadget coming for obviously attacker or defender in the future. And this of course would be for more than just the recruits, but it would change the recruits as well. So I think, this paragraph to me is one of the most interesting ones to actually read. However, moving on from the recruits, because of course we have dedicated videos about that and everyone's talking about them. We've got Fenrir, again, another big chunk here to read if you want to. They really are trying their best to communicate. And I feel bad skipping over it, but I don't want to make this video super long. So we've got the changes to Fenrir. We've got the FNAT Dread Mine. So we've got him going from 5 mines down to 4. And then also he gets the ability to activate only 2 of them instead of 3. But the good thing is when a thing is destroyed, he actually gets the ticket back. So you can activate another mine. And the inactive mines are no longer bulletproof. I certainly never agreed with that being bulletproof to start with. I wasn't a fan of that. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. But he's getting hit hard everywhere. And again, disabling one of his mines, so him actually switching it off gives him back his ticket and all that. So this is, quite a hard hit for Fenrir. It just took too long. Like, they should have probably, after one season, they probably should have got rid of this. Then maybe another season they could have added this in. It's just taken too long to change him. They've also changed his secondary, so he's now got an observation blocker instead of barbed wire. Then we've got Solus, yet again, a very big read. But I still think the main problem here is that they took far too long to change Solus. She's been out for a long time, and she should have had stuff like disabling her gadget during the prep phase 1 season or 2 seasons after she was released. It's just taken far too long. But yeah, let's go through it. So she cannot use her goggles when the prep phase is on. Her gadget only lasts 10 seconds now instead of 20, and her gadget needs to fully recharge before she can switch it on. And then she also has a limited range down to 12 meters instead of 15. So overall, a big hit. And this is part 1. They still have a part 2 coming next season. So Solus will be nerfed further. But the next change might be more of a change to our foundation and might make some of these nerfs kind of obsolete. But we'll have to wait and see, of course, for them to come out. Then we've got our loadout change, so added proximity alarm, removing impact grenades. This is a big pity because this was one of the fun tactics to do with Solus, which was to go underneath and watch above for people putting down the diffuser and such. And you just can't do that anymore. Like, you're going to have to shoot up, and that's a lot less accurate. So, real pity. Real pity. This just takes away a big chunk of fun, and I'm sad about that. I would have preferred this to have, kept her with the impact grenades. So, yeah, sad. So, we've seen in the balance graphs, Deimos is actually doing terrible. Let's just actually quickly update ourselves on that. So, on PC, he's not doing too bad on PC. He's actually in a relatively okay position. Like, he's definitely in the underpicked and weak. So, not good for a new operator, not good for your big bad guy. So, we'd be better to get him closer to here, even a little bit up here. He's just not doing good. And of course, on console, he's actually the second worst performing attacker, just behind Sense. So that is really bad. Like, not good at all. And of course, that's not where they want him to be. And that's in his first season, jeez. And yeah, they say here relatively low pick rates. That was the case in those graphs. He was in that very underpicked section. So they're going to go and add in the vertical grip, the angle grip, and the horizontal grip to the AK-74. Good, that's a great change. Is it enough? No. Like, I think Deimos, he's like a Lion light, maybe a bit more focused Lion ability, and he's just not as interesting to play, I think. But he does have the potential to be super powerful. He's like Lion. If you mess around with the balancing of that gadget, you could end up really wrecking stuff. And he can become super powerful. So he's going to be a hard one to change. I think this is probably the best thing to do, change his weapon and make it a little bit better, rather than try and kind of tweak his gadget, because you could end up making him just OP very quickly. So we'll see how they balance Deimos out. I think it will be hard to get a good balancing going. Now, this is interesting, Barbwire. So of course, recently we've seen the 1.5x taken away from the game entirely, replaced with the old school ACOG. And we've had to kind of go back to the OG to help try and take away the TDM meta. This seems to be something similar, because barbed wire back in the day in the OG game did do damage to players. So they are bringing that back. And again, it's bringing back stuff that was in the game originally that helped it be a slower game. So yeah, barbed wire is going to do 5 damage to attackers moving through it. Now overall, this is not going to make a huge difference to the entire game, but it will slow down the odd person from time to time, and I think walking through an entire barbed wire, you'll take around about 15 damage. So for like a brain dead TDM player, this is not going to be too much, so just take the damage and keep moving, but it will result in a few more players dying while pushing onto site. So I'm perfectly happy with this. I think this is a good idea. I always liked the damage before because it made you more likely to try and clear that barbed wire out with utility rather than actually, just walk through it, which people currently do most of the time. They also say that wire stiffness has been increased. I don't know what that means. If that's like just the visual look of it as it moves, or maybe it slows drones down more or something like that. I'm assuming it's just a visual thing. Then they've also added this rank distribution, which is interesting. I did a couple of shorts not too long ago showing rank distribution using third-party stuff to get the numbers, and I think it's a good thing to let players know, because most players, they'll see themselves get to, let's say, silver and feel like they're doing terrible, but actually you're in like a good chunk of the player base when you get up to like gold and all that. Like, and you know, if you get diamond, you're in a very small, like you can see this is 0.7% of the player base there. You know, champions 0.8. So people don't realize how little people are actually in these different ranks. So this is PC and this is console. Actually, it looks quite similar distribution. Of course, it's based on the hidden ratings, so it's going to be relatively similar. And yeah, again, what's that? I don't think these are very high quality. Let me just see. Yeah, so unfortunately, this is full size, this image. Who makes images this small? So it is 0.6. It almost looks like 0.8, but it's 0.6, and that's console. So it gives you an idea of how little the amounts of players are actually in each rank. Because a lot of people don't realize that it is way skewed to the lower ranks, and don't realize they're actually doing pretty good if they're in gold and stuff like that. It's not like the old days where the majority of players would either be in silver or gold, because they would just play placement matches, get their rank, and they would either usually be gold or silver with a few people in plat. So you'd end up with big, basically you'd end up with a curve like this. It'd go up and then it'd come down. Whereas this time, most players are stuck in the copper and bronze and, just unable to ever get out of those ranks. Right, so that is the designer notes for the new season. Like I said, there will be full-on patch notes as well, which will show us the seasonal skin and stuff like that. But this is it. And there is a big difference with this. They really do a lot of explanation here. They do a lot of writing that you can go read. And of course, I'm not going to read it in this video, but there's a lot. And that, to me, means they're trying to explain a lot more than usual. And I think that might mean they know this is going to be quite a decisive season when it comes to this recruit rework, the changes to Fenrir and Solus. There's a lot here that I think players are not going to be happy with. And part of it is just taking too long to get there. And other bits is like they really built up this remaster of the recruits. And then it's like, it's pretty similar to what it was already. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you next time.